Welcome to another SHG Podcast. I'm here with the Voice's own Rachael Connor. How you doing?
I'm all good. I'm
all good?
nervous.
Don't be nervous. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. So my friend actually, Ewan, sorted this for me. So big shout out to Ewan. Good man. The Fleetwood Mac cover. What's you doing?
Oh, did you like it?
That was amazing. Very, very good.
I love that song. It's so easy song too. So I thought we'll just put it on Facebook.
Why not? Exactly. But I'm just going to start off. I've everything written down here because I wanted this to be a good one. You know what I mean?
Me too.
Aye. So The Voice. Let's start there. What, you were very young when you done The Voice?
Yeah, when I auditioned, I was 15, so I was still at school. I was over at Limavady Grammar, and it came about so randomly because I always dreamed, like, you always watched X Factor, you watched like Owen Quigg and Jordan O'Keefe and all, and you used to always think, oh, I'd love to be doing that. And then it came about, The Voice contacted the Grammar, like they contacted the school and were like, we want to what's the name? Oh, we want to scout. So they were scouting for people to enter the show that year. And then my music teacher, I was doing GCSE music at the time, and he was like, oh, okay, students, I want you all to, if you're interested, sing a song. And I was like, I'm hardly doing that, I'm not going to end up on TV. God, imagine I'd be affronted. And then he was like, well, you might not end up on TV, just sing. And I was like, okay, fair enough, probably won't. And then they came. I was rushing over from a biology GCSE at that time, and then they came and just like videoed us in the wee video recorder, and then they're like, okay, we'll be in touch if you're successful. And that was grand. The next thing I got an email, oh, you're through, could you, like, you're fast tracked to the next round if you enter your details. And I was like, right, okay. So then I was going up to Belfast. Next thing I got through and got shortlisted. And at the time, like, me and my family, I mean, we always dreamed, they always laugh and be like, oh yeah, you're going to be a singer. But I mean, none of us knew how to do that. Like, we're not a show busy family. But it just kept going, and I kept getting emails. And then the next thing I remember, I got an email being like, okay, we're going to fly you over to London. And I remember squealing down the stairs. I was like, oh my God. And because I was under 18, I had to have a parent with me. So then me and my dad just jetted off to London like once or twice a week, back and forth. It was just crazy. Like, it was mad.
And then I think at that stage you thought, oh, this is going to go somewhere. Or did you even think whenever you got into the first part of it that you were going to go?
I mean, you always hope. You don't go in thinking, I'm going to do rubbish. But I just remember hoping and praying. And I just remember thinking, oh God, if I don't get through and they show my audition on TV, I am going to be mortified in Limavady. I will never show my face again. But no, it went great. I remember I was so nervous, and that was the first time I'd dealt with any form of singing other than school shows and local pantomimes. But I just remember I was so nervous, and I cried before I went on stage. And then I got through, and I cried again, and then I cried in the next round before I went on stage. But it was just mental. It's mad to think that that actually happened.
Your family was supportive, like, of you, though. That's a good thing. I remember saying to my mum and dad, I was like, right, I'm 15, I'm going to be a drummer. And they thought, oh no. My dad was like, would you go and get a job, man? Would you a proper one? And then ended up, obviously, things took off for me that way. Like, but they didn't like that there as a career choice.
No,
like,
thankfully my family were very supportive. I mean, we were all kind of just in this bubble. We were like, we don't know what's happening. I mean, we're on TV. This is weird. Yeah. But no, they are great, and they'd love to see me to do well, and
that's good. So where are you at now in your music career, or what's happening? Obviously it's a bit harder now with COVID. the COVID and all that. But is everything? Would you still get people to contact you and say, could you do a verse in this, and they send you something, or is it?
At the minute, I found during COVID, so basically came off The Voice, signed with a management company. Kylie was my mentor, so she signed me up with the same management as her. That was grand. I was kind of like learning a lot of stuff along the way, and I was 16, 17. I had no idea about anything, so was still learning a lot of stuff. But it turned out like they didn't really have time. They were managing Kylie. They're not going to really have time to manage me. So kind of broke that off after about 5 years, and then at the minute before COVID I was working with Swedish producers. So a guy in London was helping me connect with like all these Swedish producers and like kind of a management mentor kind of group, and it was all going really well and I was all really excited, and then coronavirus hit.
Exactly.
Things kind of slowed down, but I mean this year actually more than ever people are emailing because they can't get singers into their studios. They're emailing being like, can you record yourself, do this? And it's handy money, to be honest. Like and I'm doing it from my bedroom, so
you have a studio set up sort of.
It's more so my wardrobe. So I got during lockdown I got a mic, and then I don't have like a those things in the wall, the foam things. I'm not very tech, as you can tell.
That's my foam thing over there.
The mattress, does that work too?
That works.
Oh my god, what do you see? I'll be rearranging my bedroom.
Your ma will come up and you'll have the mattress stuffed in the wardrobe.
But I use my clothes reel and I put my mic in it, so I'm like singing into my clothes. So that's kind of my studio at the minute, but it does the job. I mean, I don't produce or anything, so I can send it off.
So it'll get mixed and mastered by somebody else probably. I just pull it forward a wee bit. So it was on anyway, and I had to do a wee bit of research, obviously, to figure out stuff. And do you have a clothing thing, or what is that like? Because you have more clothes than TK Maxx, and I see it in your Instagram. I'm going, is it every day? She's wearing a different outfit. What is that all about?
I love fashion and I love clothes, and I think I really enjoy the part, like I love the music, but I also love like
the fashion that comes with it.
It's not all about the music as much as it is, but it's not. Like you have to create a brand and your certain look, and
it's very true.
So I really do enjoy that, and I toured with Lord of the Dance, which was we went all around the world and it was great. So I remember like every tour I would come home and have to pay extra for baggage because I would be shopping in every country. So everyone's like, why do you have so many clothes? And I'm like, because I just buy things every time I go away. Do you know what I mean?
we keepsake.
I do really enjoy it. So during lockdown especially, I was just like, sure, we may as well make fashion videos as well as singing.
Exactly, you're right. And is nobody
I suppose that's what I hate the word, but like influencer, blogger kind of thing. Like brands would contact me and be like, oh, we'd love to send you this, or we'd love you to basically pay you to create their content, especially this year, because no one has the money for big campaigns or hiring models in and doing photo shoots. So I find that influencers, as we say, are working even more this year. And it is, it's fun, but the main goal is to sing. The
most I ever got was, whenever we were my band, we were pretty successful, but we had a 10-year run and we were signed to Eugene Records.
Really?
And
I didn't know that.
We had the theme tune to the Northwest 200 one year, and the BBC News came down and we performed in the BBC studios in Belfast for Stephen Watson and all. So it ended up, he found out that whenever you downloaded our music, that it went to Marie Curie if you downloaded off iTunes. And we thought the Northwest and Marie Curie, we could do something to promote the band, and it was class. But the most I ever got out of that was like a $3,500 drum kit from America.
$3,500 drum kit, I wouldn't be complaining.
No, I know, but like I was like, and then they sent it to me, and I have expensive taste when it comes to drums, and I played it for a wee while, but it was like the same. It's just what you put to go back what you pointed on about like brand placement and stuff. I had to do so much like picture for them. Yeah, and if I played, like, you know yourself, if you turn up to a gig and you're using somebody else's kit, I had to cover the name up if it wasn't the same as mine. Like, I had to cover it up. You know,
I know.
But then I just, at the end of the year, I was like, you know what? I'm selling this. I sold the kit. So sorry, Truth Drums, if you're watching this, I apologize, but that's gone.
No, it is. I mean, it's so bad to say. I shouldn't say this because Christmas is coming up, but the stuff I get sent, some of it is being given to my family as presents. I'm sorry, guys, but
oh no,
I'm doing that. Sorry.
So Mama O'Connor's getting something that you were sent.
She's getting tan. She's getting jewelry.
Should I not release this until after Christmas? Then she'll know what she's getting.
We'll do it New Year's Day. Release it New Year's Day.
So were you signed?
I was never signed, so that was always I mean, it still is. That is the goal, but
yeah. Would you not do it yourself?
See,
most people are doing it now without a label.
We did try. My first ever single was called "Done With Your Love." It was see, when I hear it now, I'm like, oh my god, do not play that in front of me. It was a very, when I look back, it's like, oh, it's very cheesy, poppy, 16-year-old. Yeah. So it haunts me now to this day anytime I'm drunk and at a party with my friends. But when we released that, there was a lot of money went into it, and it didn't really give the results. I mean, it was my management company at the time was kind of backing me, and it didn't really give the results they wanted. Yeah. But really, we were all kind of learning, and we had no idea how it worked. Like, I was just being told what to do. Yeah. Like, I wasn't even
naive.
So naive. Wasn't giving my opinion. Wasn't telling them what I wanted. They were like, just do this, go here, and I'm like, cool. Yeah, no worries. This is so exciting. Didn't really turn out how we wanted, and then kind of moved on from that and was working with these people in Sweden. And I think before I do anything, they are very much like, we need to work out who you are as a brand. Like, they want me basically as a package. Yeah. And then I find that the only thing at the minute is money. Like, I want that backing to be able to do the things I want to do, because I don't want to just, I don't want to, as much as I love acoustic music, I don't want to be an acoustic artist. Like, I want it to be very much, like Dua Lipa and like a pop star, full on show. Do you know what I mean?
I understand.
I'm finding it's kind of money.
There's so much production that goes into that. Yeah, especially stage production and stuff like that. Yeah.
I mean, at the minute, obviously, I can't perform anywhere, but it's more so at the minute I'm just kind of writing. Well, before coronavirus, I was working over in Sweden and just working and writing and trying to figure out different sounds, and it is fun. But then you get to the point where you're like, who are you as an artist? Like, how are you different? And my only thing at the minute is, well, I'm Irish.
Exactly. I'm Irish. That's it.
That counts, doesn't
it? You said that you were on tour with
Lord of
the Dance, and you played all over. Mm-hmm. If you had to pick a favourite country, what would your favourite be to play in?
I loved South Africa. That was unreal. Mm-hmm. That was basically just a holiday, because we got to go on safari and like pet lion cubs. There's me petting a lion cub, and I was scared of your dog when I walked into this house. How stupid is that?
And it's a Chihuahua.
Just animals in general kind of like freak me out, but when I was petting the lion cub, it was fine. Yeah. But no, South Africa was great. And we did like an American tour all around the States, and that was so fun as well. Like, just getting to see, like, really, when you watch a film and it's so American, like, those places actually exist.
Oh yeah. I went to Vegas for my 30th.
I'd love to go to Vegas.
And it's exactly what it says in the tin. Like, it's fantastic.
It looks great.
I would, if you haven't been there, I would suggest go there at least once in your life.
I think I'll go for my 30th.
You should.
Yeah.
That's an experience. Oh, well, if this COVID doesn't kill everybody.
I know. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, aye. But another thing was who would be the most, I know you met Kylie, she was your mentor and stuff, but besides her, who was the most famous person that you've worked with or met?
I met like all the Tom Jones, obviously all the voice judges, they were great.
My dad's a huge fan of him.
oh my god, he was so nice.
What does he smell like? Does he smell good?
I don't know, actually.
Yun's hugged.
We hugged. I was just, too far gone to even smell him,
Well, there's original baby powder or something.
It was more like when I met him. Well, I met him at my audition, but backstage he was wearing this like really grand Versace like robe, and I was like, oh my god, you are a legend.
Yeah,
what a guy, Tom.
Imagine being able to still sing like that.
I know.
Age, you know what
I know.
Longevity.
Like, I'm 23 and I can barely sing the way I was back then.
It's because it's I know he does sing a bit different now, like, but he can still hold
his power,
it.
Doesn't
He still has power, and he can still hold. Like, I was in an indie rock band, and our thing was, there was no power. It was craziness from start to finish.
Just roaring.
Well, it wasn't roaring. There was singing, like, but it was like, it wasn't Tom Jones.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know.
So it wasn't.
Apart from him, Nadine Coyle,
yeah,
she was so nice. She worked with me, and she was just so normal. Do you know what I mean? Like, so dairy and normal.
Yeah.
And it was really nice working with her.
Yeah.
She was cool.
She lived, I think is she not in the States too?
She moved back to London, but she still has her home in Derry somewhere. I'm not sure where, but I know she's like back and forth between London and Derry.
Right.
But
right. What do you think of I have to ask you this because you've been on there, and the other shows as well. You know the way you would see good artists and they come on to these shows, they get really far and then they disappear.
Do
you know what I mean? And they don't do anything. At least you're still active and you're still working and you're still trying to push through. But do you know what I'm trying to say? You get really good singers and you don't know where they went.
I think
do you think that is a letdown on the show side, or maybe just they didn't get the backing, or maybe they just give up?
I think it's all a bit of both. I mean, the show, it would be great if the show could back you more, but I suppose then they're getting ready for the next series. Like, once you're out, they don't really care. Like, do you know what I mean? But I think it's just hard. I found I was on TV, it was all go, my face was everywhere, everyone was giving me all this attention, and then once that stopped, it was a bit like, well, what do I do? Like,
what do you do?
Where do I go now? And like, no one really cares anymore. I was back at school doing my A-levels. I find it's hard to motivate yourself, so I can't see, maybe why they gave up, and you do try when you come off the show, but I mean, there's hundreds of people going on these shows every year, and you're kind of, I remember I was just thinking, like, what makes me any better than anyone else? Like, what, like, you just doubt yourself.
You must have, there must have been something that stuck out, because you done well, and you're still doing well, which is like, it's like this here, like, people say, I doubt myself doing this.
I know, but I think that's a big thing, and in the industry, I find especially I constantly doubt myself, and especially during COVID. Like, at the minute, I'm finding it so difficult to motivate myself to do anything, because I was trying to say to my friends the other day, like, they were like, oh, why are you not just writing and blah blah blah, and I'm like, you've no idea how hard it is to be sitting in your room, no plans for any music happening, no plans to leave the country, nothing is going on. To then, I try to stay positive, but I even said, it's so cheesy, but I'm finding it even hard to dream at the minute, because like I can't see the bigger picture right now, because there is basically no light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing for singing.
But I think it will pick up again. But I do think people that are in the music industry, and we got out of it. It is a hard one to crack. Like, we were signed to a good label. We toured with a lot of famous people and supported famous people, and like, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying to my mate. I was like, I could come in here. I'm more nervous. I'd be more nervous than to do stuff like this. because it's new to me.
Yeah.
But I could go out and play drums in front of thousands of people.
Yeah.
And at a
but
festival.
Then once you learn like this, where then you'll not be nervous.
I know. Yeah, I know.
I suppose it's experience.
It is. It's all new adventure. There's a lot of things that I had to learn and stuff, but I think that, you know, it's interesting to get people like yourself on that have, you know, you've done a lot more than what most people have in this.
I find though I keep forgetting that. I keep like at the minute, because I mean coronavirus is just, you know, we're all thinking just ways that we've never thought before, but like I'm up working with my dad at the minute, and that's fun, but it's a 9-to-5 office job, and I'm like, I find it hard to, you know, like not think like, oh, I've achieved nothing, and I'm just sitting. I'm like, do you know what I mean? Whereas I have to kind of keep reminding myself, no, you've done things and you've seen the world, and but like it's hard. I don't know. I think I'm just always looking for something more to come, and at the minute there is really nothing. Well, hopefully it picks up soon. But there was I was going to ask you, how did you your turn life? Was probably a hell of a lot different to ours. How did you adapt to turn life? Because I know, like, we lived in a van with 4 other dudes. In a van?
In a van, toured all over, playing shows everywhere. And we were recording our album, and we stayed in a caravan. And I'm not even going to go into the antics that happened in that caravan. And it was in the middle of nowhere. And I would get arrested if I talked about the stuff that happened in that caravan. I
think my term was pretty tame, I think, compared to all that.
I know. Well, like, I'm sure you didn't live in a caravan.
No.
This thing was like something you'd see in the Dingles back garden.
Where at?
It was out in Hillsborough, out in the middle of nowhere in Hillsborough, and we recorded with Komodo Recordings. Alwyn Walker, great producer, by the way. He's now working out of it. Well, he was the last time. He produced an album for us down in Dublin. Ozzy Osbourne recorded in that studio, and people.
I love going into a studio and they're like, Justin Bieber recorded in here, Pamela Faith, and I'm like, wow. Paloma. Jesus. Pamela Faith.
Oh God. Well, the thing, like, is you must have adapted. It was a lot cleaner, I'm assuming, and you know.
We did get it lucky. I mean, Lord of the Dance, they put us all up in hotels. They paid for your flights. It was, look, I mean, not all hotels like, really. It could have been like a Holiday Inn or something, but you know, at least we got like a bed and a shower. But I mean, there's stories to be told of Alter, and I think I mean, there's a lot of, you know, hotel rooms and a lot of dancers and a lot of scandal happens between, you know, do you know what I mean?
Oh, I know there's scandal, definitely. I know what you're saying. But the scandal was usually, we started the scandal. That was the problem.
It was fun though in Lord of the Dance because I was the only singer, and it was like 30 dancers. So Irish dancers have their own world, like they compete and they've all grown up and they all know each other. So I was kind of like, just could kind of sit back and, you know, watch, and it was just crazy. Like,
I say it would be like an experience on its own.
It was kind of like Hollyoaks, an episode of Hollyoaks at times.
Really?
Do you know what I mean? Like, just drama.
Oh, really? Drama?
Scandal, drama.
No, what sort of drama?
No, I can't stand.
I've what was I going to say? So where do you see yourself in the future with this, your music, or where would you want to be in the future? I
would just love my an album. I don't have an album, or even, you know, like 5 songs, you know, a wee EP or anything, just so that I can perform my own shows, like do a headline show. I mean, the dream would be Croke Park. I always say that. I'm like, I'm going to sell out Croke Park someday. I'm going to do it. But, you know, like, I just would love to...
Dua Lipa support you.
Exactly. She'll support me. I'm obsessed with Dua Lipa. Anything she does, I'm like, oh, I want to do that.
Have you put this on your Instagram? You have to hashtag her.
I'll tag her and be like, Dua, babes, come up. But I would just love my own music out, to perform in my own shows, wherever that may be, and I'd love to do a festival.
Yeah.
Like a big... I did Stendhal, and I remember that was the funnest.
Yeah, that was our last gig.
Really?
Yeah, Stendhal, that's where we
I think that was mine. Oh, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Right. It was 2 years ago.
We done that. We were going 10 years, and we thought we'd done all festivals. We done Glasgow and stuff like that. And,
did you?
Yeah, we done the Buncrana Street Festival.
Yeah.
And
I've heard of that.
it was scary looking out at that.
Really?
Like, I don't really get... really big crowds don't get to me anymore, but that really did. We were supporting Monday. He's a singer-songwriter.
Is he from around...
I think he's from around here somewhere. It could be English. I'm not sure, but at that time, everybody was like, he's a big, he was a big name, and I was just like, right, we'll do it. And we were I remember it fell through, but Fader were supposed to support us, or we were supposed to support them. Sorry, in Belfast, but for some reason that fell through. But that festival, looking out at that was scary. Like,
I never used. It was weird because I never used to get stage fright, and then I just went through this phase. I remember when I was on tour with Lord of the Dance, and I went through this phase where I hated going on stage. I would cry every time before I would go on. I would feel like I'm going to choke every time I started singing. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden I snapped out of it. And then, I don't know, it's just this weird thing that I randomly get stage fright at times.
Yeah. I think the thing was too, we could have played a festival anywhere, but whenever we came back to play in our hometown, that was the worst.
I find that scary too.
That was the worst because you're playing in front of your peers, really, and people that you look
know
up to,
you and stuff like that.
People you respect, and it was good to finish it off at Stendhal. You know, it's only up the road, and the people up there that run it were great, and they treated you like stars anyway.
They didn't they? I felt like a rock star when I went up. They had my own dressing room, and I was like, wow, I've made it.
I remember going setting a tent up for Ryan McMullen one time.
Did you?
Down in
for him or for you to?
No, for him. Like my friend, the guy who was on the last podcast, he used to set like bell tents up.
Yeah.
And the guy he worked for at the time says, "Do you want to go and set a tent up in Buncrana?" And he was like, "Take anybody you want." And he's like, "I'll take Shaggy. I'll ring Shaggy." Right? So he rung me, and he was like, "I don't know who it's for, but we're setting up a tent for somebody."
Right.
And I went down, and this guy was on the piano, and he was singing. I just went, wow! He's fantastic.
Oh my god, I love Ryan McMullen.
Ryan McMullen's class, and I asked the guy, I was like, "Who is he?" He's like, "That's Ryan McMullen. He was worked with Ed Sheeran, blah blah all this." And I was
Did you know of him at the time?
No. But I'm going back years.
Before he was big.
Yeah, before he was big, and then I started sharing them on my Snapchat, putting them up every time I was having a beer. And next thing I know, everybody on my Snapchats and they're Ryan McMullen. You know what I mean?
You started the Ryan McMullen.
I started the Ryan McMullen trade. That's it. I'm keeping that.
I'm a big fan of Ryan McMullen music. His voice is so cool. Fantastic.
He's from Portaferry, I think. So he is.
No, he's very, very good now.
So do you think that you will work? You were talking about obviously Sweden and stuff, and the whole package and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think you will get
there?
Like a brand thing going? Like,
I hope so. I mean,
fashion wise too, obviously.
Fashion wise, I it's more so. My thing is, I change my ideas, like whatever mood I'm in depends on, you know, the songs I sing or the clothes I'm wearing or the hairstyle I have. So I think my problem is having to narrow everything down to kind of be like a signature. Do you know what I mean? But
what song would you sing if you had my hairstyle?
If I had your hairstyle,
probably metal music.
Yeah, I don't know metal music, but something, you know, like rocky and
You tell I drum too.
Yeah.
That's good.
You just have that drummer vibe, don't you?
That's good. Happy days. I'll take that. Cheers. There you have it. Rachael Connor says I have a drummer vibe. I'm still unemployed in the drummer world, by the way, at the minute. Haven't worked in 4 years, so if anybody's looking at a drummer, give me a shout.
Oh my god, you could be my drummer.
No problem.
Guys!
This is problem.
Cheers. New cups.
Yep.
New cups.
Oh, new cups. Cheap plug, by the way.
Plug.
Thank you, Rachael.
You're welcome.
But I still think that the brand thing is very important though, isn't it?
I do, and like people, I know there's a lot of people, especially around Northern Ireland, because everyone's so musically talented and can just pick up a guitar and write a song, and like it's an unreal song. And I know there is a lot of people that would look at me and be like, oh, for God, like just sing. It's about the music. But I'm like, I know it's about the music, and the music's very important. Yeah. But I do think the whole package is important as well. And like I find growing your social media is very important, and I find like labels really look for that. And basically, well, from what I have taken, I've spoken to a few people and been told a few things, and basically they just say, look, if you want a label wants a package already there that they know is gonna be worth the money, so they can just spit out and spend money on, and they know it'll work. But I think it's getting to that point where you're like, picture perfect, basically.
Yeah. I remember the wee singer Paul McVeigh. And I actually sent a video of him, or was it a text? It might have been a text to one of the guys on our label at the time, and this is only recently. And then I was like, check this wee dude out. I think he's fantastic. And they sent me a message back. They were like, oh well, we don't, the label's not going anymore, so they're not going anymore, so even labels are finding it hard now, do you know?
Especially, I know we keep saying COVID, but like I think the music industry with COVID is just like, especially this year, is just hit. Like it's dead. Like no one wants to spend money, or no one wants to take a chance on money. I mean, hopefully next year it'll be
different,
a lot better, but with no live performances, I suppose no one can really.
Well, that's the thing. Like my wee brother's getting married now in April. I'm a groomsman. I forgot that.
Did he have to change his date or anything?
I was meant to get married last year, and he had to change it.
Oh God!
They nearly lost the band, the photographer, everything.
I know. See how sad. I God love anyone getting married, because it's just so heartbreaking if you had to change it.
Yeah, but hopefully it goes ahead now. But they've got a live band booked, and they're saying now, the government are saying that you can't have live music.
I know. And like, to be a wedding is getting up, dancing, being drunk, doing hokey pokey, whatever,
swinging your ma around the place. Exactly.
Or your granny.
Exactly. Maybe not my granny now. my granny Marigold claimed mad I swung her around the place. But my ma, maybe. She's my number one fan. My mum.
Your mum?
She used to go, "That's my boy," shouting up whenever I was.
That's so
she used to come to our gigs, and then I stopped her coming to the gigs. I was like, "Ma, you're not coming anymore." Like, you sit down there and you get drunk and you start shouting obscenities at your own son. I says, "You're not coming anymore."
Oh, well, at least you support him.
Oh, I know. She's great. She's fantastic. My dad, on the other hand, was like, "Put them down and get a real job."
My mum and dad both just, anytime I sing, mummy's crying, and then daddy's like, I'm a breeder. And I'm like, right, okay, no. Sit down, Eddie.
Exactly. Jesus, if my ma showed that, I'd faint. I'm a breeder. Well done, Eddie.
Well done, Eddie.
You have brothers and sisters then?
I have 2 older brothers, yeah.
2 older brothers. Are they musical?
No, they're more, my house is all sports, so...
Okay.
My brother, he played rugby professionally, and then Mark, he played rugby, and they both played golf, and... Then there's just me. I'm literally the black sheep of the family.
The musicians always are. But my wee brother's the exact same. He's a footballer, played with Milk Cup and all that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now he's a lot older. He's still playing football, but I don't think he's at that level anymore. He's got 2 kids now, and he's settling down now. But I take my hat off to people like that as well. But we do get. It's musicians get frowned upon, don't we? Really?
Because I think especially here, because there's a lot more happening with music in Northern Ireland now. But back, even when I was on The Voice, like nothing was happening. Like there was no, like film stuff happening. There was like, but I think now there's a lot more going on that, you know, people can almost say, oh well, I mean, you'll make good money out of that.
Yeah.
It's so annoying because, like, when I was in Lord of the Dance, it wasn't about the money, but people were like, oh yeah, she's just away singing, and I'm like, but I'm making more money singing than I would be if I was in a normal job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's so annoying that people like frown upon it. Cause
it definitely is. It definitely is a good way to make money, and like drumming as well is a good way to make money. But if you're signed as well, like I was going to say, there is a lot of traits. If you're signed, and there's a lot of, you know, it's not as glamorous and as money making as you think it is. You know, a label is basically a middleman, and that's why I'm saying, if I had any advice, like, you don't have to take advice obviously from me, but I'm just saying, any advice, like, if I had any advice, start your own label, do it yourself. And you know, my two friends there are successful DJs, and I think they have their own label now, Loco and Jam.
Oh yeah.
You know, and you know, they're doing it. They have no middleman, you know. So and I think it's. I know
I probably would just need to research and like get my head around how to actually do it, and you know, before I ever. You
have a good business family though that could help you that way. You know what I mean? You know, you could have, as long as you're somebody that's able to, you know, work out where you're going, what times, blah blah. If you say you were doing a tour. Even if it was only 2 weeks, you know, I'm going to England this week, I'm going to Spain, whatever, you know, if it was all mapped out and you had somebody taking care of that back home, especially if it's a family member, they're not going to skim me. You know, I found out, it didn't happen with us, our label was brilliant, but you see, like, big labels, I know people that have been signed to big labels, and they've suffered, recorded, like, I know friends, who have recorded albums, and the label has told them, put everything, their heart and soul into the music, you know, whenever you write your own lyrics and everything, and the label has told them, we're not releasing it.
I know, I've heard of that, you know? As well. Oh god,
you'd be gutted, wouldn't you?
You'd just cry, and then they shelve it, so you can't even do anything with it,
and they own the rights, you know.
I know
that's what I'm saying. If we were to do it all over again,
you wouldn't do a label.
I wouldn't do a label. But our label done so much for us. But this, I'm talking about when we were signed, this is back whenever, you know, this whole 360 deal didn't exist. You know, like 360 deal, now you would get signed to a major label. They would say, okay, your money is what you make selling merch and what you do turn. That's it. And we'll front you money for videos and stuff, but you're in the hole with the label. Yeah. You know, you're 20 grand down in a music video.
That's the thing.
What do? Tour for 3 years to pay that back?
You can. I've realised you can make your own videos with, like, say your friend has their own camera. Like, you can do it so much cheaper than a like label could ever do. But that is probably something I should look into. Like, just
definitely.
Just.
Do you have any friends in media? You know, like that are doing film studies or something like that?
I mean, they aren't studying it, but they would know a lot about it.
Yeah, and shots and angles.
Do you know what I mean? So they could do that.
The guy that made our video, our furlough video, was from Donegal at the time, a guy, Eugene McGee. I don't know if he's still going, but he was brilliant. He had all these amazing ideas. We shot our video on the roof of the Quayside car park in Derry at night. Everything was all like his idea, you know. It's somebody like that, and I don't know if Eugene's still going. I hope he is, because he was brilliant at it. But like somebody like
that have creative thoughts and stuff.
You don't even have to say to them, you know. You just say, this is what I want to do, a rough idea, and then you come and it's all done for you. Yeah, you know, that's what you need. And somebody that's easy paid. Do you know what I mean? You want them to be easy paid.
Exactly. That's the main. That
is the main thing. But I'm going to start a new trend here now. In the podcast. We put the bricks up on the wall, and we're going to get every guest now to sign.
Oh my god, this is so creative.
I'm telling you.
I love that idea.
I'm telling you. So which colour do you want? Black, gold or silver? I would probably go either gold or black.
I think gold.
Yeah. So you could pick a brick anywhere and sign it.
Let me see. What we do here?
Do that one if you want, yeah. There we go, folks. First one on the board. I have to get Wurzel back to sign it because he was here already, so must get Wurzel.
Oh my god, I love that idea.
So hopefully this will be all.
So hopefully we'll have Ed Sheeran, Beyonce, Dua Lipa.
Well, I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah, I know worries. I'll get my people on
Get your people onto their people, and they can talk to my people. How's that sound?
Sounds fantastic.
But is there anything you want to add before we go, or anything that's coming up for you, or anything you have in the pipeline?
At the minute, it's just kind of getting over COVID, Christmas, I can't wait. My brother's coming home from America. I can't wait for everyone, because he hasn't got home all year. So I can't wait for everyone to be together at Christmas and just drink. And then, fingers crossed, as soon as I can get on a plane, I'll be away again. I'll be away.
Oh, that's good stuff. Well, I want to thank you for coming on.
No, thank you very much for having me. This is my first podcast.
Oh, happy days.
I know.
Yes, you'll always remember this one.
I will.
And I really appreciate it, and I wish you well in the future.
Thank you so much, and good luck with this podcast. I can't wait to listen
to it. Thank you, Rachael.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. There you go, folks. Thank you for tuning in. It's been brilliant. I was looking forward to this one all week. Shout out to my editor, wee Charlie, who will hopefully have this sorted for maybe next week and ruin Rachel's mum's Christmas surprise. So thank you very much, and peace.
Bye.